Welcome everybody to another episode of Fantasy News. I am your disheveled goblin host, Daniel Greene, and today we have an amazing amount of heavy fantasy drops to cover here. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into that fantasy news. Starting with the fact that we are getting a new Dune trilogy, not just solo book trilogy from Brian Herbert himself. He tweeted out, "Kevin and I are pleased to announce a new trilogy for Tor Books focused on Duke, Leto, Lady Jessica, and Paul, leading directly into the events in Dune. We've written the first novel, The Duke of Caledon, to be released October 13th. Cover art to be released soon." I'm very excited to see this, and yeah, I'm gonna give Dune another go. I know it wasn't my favorite first time around, but I've been told if I push past the first book, which is what a lot of people love, I might really get in the series down the road. So expect another attempt at me buying into Dune. I just don't vibe with it, with the writing style, but hey, maybe I'll be hooked this time around. You also probably could have called that they were going to be releasing more Dune books with the upcoming movie with Denis Villeneuve. Like, it looks like they're gonna be trying to kind of get this going. The only real hesitation I have here is this a story that needs to be told, or just them trying to capitalize? But I don't get the vibe that Dune is a franchise that likes to just milk for what it's worth, and it's a big enough universe that there's probably a lot of story that still needs to be told. So I'm excited for this. I'm okay with it. Let's go ahead and have a whole new Dune trilogy. Or, I don't know that much about Dune. It's not my favorite franchise, so maybe everything I just said is wrong and the fans are furious. I don't know. But that was not it. We also had another drop from one of the largest fantasy franchises ever with a tweet from Penguin Publishing saying, "Today marks 25 years since Philip Pullman's Northern Lights came out, and to celebrate, we have some very exciting news. This autumn we'll be publishing Serpentine, a previously unseen story linking his dark materials and the Book of Dust." So yes, we are getting a new story in that universe as well. For those of you unaware, there is currently another series coming out taking place in the same universe called the Book of Dust, and it seems like this will be an interquel linking the classic trilogy and the new. Holy smokes, but that is once again not all for serious heavy release news. Let's get into the next one. Ready Player One is getting a sequel from Ernest Cline titled, rather predictably, Ready Player Two. This one I'm less positive on. I'm sorry for Ready Player One fans. I was fine with the book. It's a perfectly fun, nerdy adventure that I think I'm not quite as positive as I once was, but I still think it's totally fine. But talking about something that certainly does not need a sequel, this is one that I like the first one, but for me, just there's no interest in it too. Just not interested for me. Ready Player One was all I needed in that. And then we also had Brian McClellan, author of the Powder Mage trilogy, tweeting out about his upcoming release in The Shadow of Lightning. Apparently he's finished writing it, it's off to get edited, it's currently around 230,000 words, and is slated to be released in 2022. And in the final piece of book release news, you can pick up a free copy of the Stormlight Archive alternate storyline that Brandon Sanderson has been talking about. Originally it was supposed to be released in 2002, This is the one that was kind of his first draft of the Stormlight world, and you can check it out for free on any e-reader you want. Just go ahead and check it out in the link in the description, where I have every story I talk about here just kind of piled on in for you to look into. I do want to reiterate though, this is to be considered an alternate dimension for Stormlight Archive. It's not something that's like the continuation of canonic whatever for what's going on currently. This is a separate, okay, what could have been, not what actually is. And now, in just this is fantastic and awesome news, Jim Butcher and Patrick Rothfuss got together on Twitch to talk about the upcoming release of Peace Talks, which you can go ahead and watch. Currently only has like 2K views, and I know way more people are interested in just that. So obviously it's an awareness problem, and I will go ahead and have that Twitch channel, World Builders, linked down there. If you'd like to go see these two monoliths of the modern fantasy genre have a casual discussion about the upcoming Peace Talks. And now you know this is a big day for fantasy when we're this deep into the stories and we're just now getting to Wheel of Time casting. That's the state we're in today. It's a big ass fantasy news day. Here are the castings that Amazon put out the other day. Pasha Bokhari as Master Grinwell, Jennifer Preston as Mistress Grinwell, and Izuka Hoyle as Denna. 3 more names added to the upcoming show. I need some news about this show that's not just cast and keep me. Come on. Give me something new. Give me some set photos. Give me a sneak peek teaser trailer that doesn't even have any actual footage. Give me something. Like, I love the castings, don't get me wrong, but come on, Amazon. Give us a little something. Give us a little something. You know what I mean? Just one little something here. Can I get a little something? I'm gonna stop saying that now. We're gonna move on to the next story. Elijah Wood has come out and made some comments about the upcoming Lord of the Rings show, or as I should say, Silmarillion show, because he actually kind of pushed back in this interview about calling it a Lord of the Rings show. And he's absolutely right. This is not the Lord of the Rings. It's Middle-earth. It's a Middle-earth show. And so that is something I'm gonna try to consciously change here on the channel, not calling it that, because that's not what this story frickin' is. It's taking place in the second age of Middle-earth. The rings weren't even a thing yet. And he also said he'd be down to make a cameo appearance if they would have him. But some headlines have been saying that he wants to make an appearance as Frodo if it makes sense. That's not what he said. He just said he'd be happy to cameo if it makes sense. And I think they took the if it makes sense as him implying that he would do it as Frodo. I just took it as, yeah, I'll play some character in the background if it makes sense for me to pop in there. I totally believe that Elijah Wood doesn't think Frodo should be in the second age. He knows his Tolkien, but at the same time, you know, take it how you want to take it. I just didn't take it as him being like, Frodo should appear in the second age, because obviously not. So I went back and watched the actual interview after only reading the transcript, because I wanted to get this absolutely clear. And without a doubt, Elijah Wood was just saying he would be willing to make like a cameo appearance in the corner of a frame somewhere as some guy. He was not saying he would return as Frodo. It's one of those things where if you like read it, it can come across that way, but if you actually listen to him say it, there's no way that's what he meant. Would you be interested in seeing Elijah Wood make a cameo in the Lord of the Rings TV show, though? Just, would it be a distraction? Would it pull you out? Or would it make you happy to see him dressed up as an orc or a child elf? I don't know. What would they do? He's not actually Hobbit-sized. What did I just make him actually a Hobbit in my mind? Because he killed that role. Let me know what your thoughts about Elijah Wood showed up in this show, and are you still going to be referring it to a Lord of the Rings show in your head? Can you make the mental switch to change it to a Middle-earth show? A Silmarillion show? How are you thinking about it? But before we talk about the rest of the fantasy news here today, I want to go ahead and throw it over to Greene Daniel to give us a weather update in the Avatar world.
The live-action version again? Again?
You're goddamn right. For my Witcher fans out there, we had the showrunner doing yet another interview, and I'm actually really impressed with this showrunner and how vocal she has been about the show, her thoughts on season 1, where they hope to improve for season 2, and that's largely what this interview is, her being conscious of some weaknesses, wanting to improve for season 2 in some areas, and that's really encouraging for me to see. I hate the Hollywood curtain they occasionally put up that's just like, it was perfect. Nothing went wrong.
Everything's always fine.
She seems much more open about potential flaws, where they want to improve, go to next, and that gives me all the more warm and fuzzies for season 2. That is genuine, and it's actually something I appreciate about certain creators like that. It feels more, this is going to sound wrong, like the YouTube appeal. People subscribe to YouTubers because you know it's a person who's just doing this themselves and usually has a very transparent, like, I screwed up, I didn't. And that is going to attract people to trust you more than that curtain Hollywood seems to think people buy into. We all know there are problems on certain sets, and it's painfully apparent when they're glossed over sometimes.
I may have gone too far in a few places. I may have gone too far in a few places. I may have gone too far in a few places.
That's just my thoughts on that. But yeah, I would go ahead and check out this interview if you're interested in Witcher, because it's nice. It's nice to see their thoughts on season 1 and their hopes for season 2. And only reason I'm covering this is because in tomorrow's video, I'm going to be mentioning this show, and I said a mistake because now it's canceled. Sabrina, or The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, has officially been canceled on Netflix, so no more Sabrina the Teenage Witch TV show. Sorry, fans of that. Ironically, before I read this story, yesterday I recorded my first tier list in like a month, and in that video it's Witches and Wizards tier list, and I specifically say the staying power of the Sabrina character is quite impressive, because she's still relevant, she still has a show, people still talk about her all the time, and now she doesn't. So ignore that part in the video. And in another story I'm just covering because I want to go at some people. When I first covered the upcoming Miles Morales Spider-Man game, I had a lot of people saying it's not a full game, it's just a DLC, you're wrong, you're wrong. And then I even doubled down in another fantasy news and still got pushback saying, no, it's not a full game, you're wrong, you're wrong. Well, here's the box from Sony showing you it's a full game that's going to be released. The confusion is because there was a Miles Morales DLC. That DLC is now spinning off into this full game. It's that simple. You're wrong, I'm never wrong, I'm a god among men. I'm wrong very frequently. Please do your own research. Speaking of video game news, though, we also had a trailer drop for an upcoming Witcher trading card, but also like storyline world building game. I'm not super into the card games that are video games. I don't even like card games that much in real life, but hey, for the fans of this kind of genre, it looks like a really interesting, intense card game, and I didn't even think you could tie in like a story to a card game, but they've managed it here, so badass. And this next story is actually gonna come with a recommendation, because we had the Invisible Man movie perform very well, and this is kind of the latest attempt at trying to get this dark universe moving somewhere, and it seems like they are now having another entry with Wolfman, with apparently Ryan Reynolds set to star. This is how this dark universe horror monsters thing should be done. Small horror movies that feel contained, not these grand action epics. It doesn't make sense for Frankenstein to be in like a Victorian Die Hard movie. That's not where you're gonna find your success. Invisible Man worked because it was smaller, well-crafted, and independent on its own, not trying to make it the MCU. Do the same thing for Wolfman, do it with like 5 of these guys, and then maybe try having 2 of them cross over. Because you cannot rush a cinematic universe, especially with characters like these, who are very set in their own lore and origins. Like, that's the real importance here for them. So I still am baffled by the people who try to just jump the gun on this one and make like The Mummy an action movie with Tom Cruise. But let's try and pull back, make some smaller stuff, and I'm hoping that's what they're gonna do with Wolfman. Though if it's about to be like Wolfman Too Fast, Too Furious Nitro Edition, then I will lose all hope in the creative abilities of mankind. We also had the trailer drop for The Umbrella Academy Season 2, which I haven't seen all of Season 1 yet, I'm sorry, so I'm gonna go ahead and just throw up a screenshot here. I didn't watch the full trailer myself, I can't tell if it's good or not, so I'm gonna make some random assumptions about what happens in the trailer. Man, when Beetlejuice fought Godzilla, that was intense. When the president of Europe turned out to be a pterodactyl, you thought people would have seen that, but the leathery wings were very well hidden. And then the final piece of fantasy news we're going to be covering here today. Apparently, Dae Kim from Lost fame is working with Amazon to develop a new supernatural spin-off series, and I'm kind of interested in this, surprisingly, even though I've never really been interested in supernatural. I've tried to watch it a couple times and it just became so formulaic, I just wasn't interested. But Dae Kim is a great actor. On my most recent Lost rewatch, which was like a couple years ago, but still, I did, his performance actually stood out to me far stronger than it ever had. He has very subtle acting in that show, but damn does he kill it. And having him involved with supernatural for a spinoff, I don't know, like for some reason in my head, this just has a lot of small signs that it could be something awesome. Because if you have people involved with supernatural for so long, they know the story, they know the lore, they know the world, they know what works and what doesn't, and they're probably also really interested in doing something different than the formula they've been peddling through. Because like, you know, whether you're a fan of supernatural or not, you gotta admit, there's a formula there. So I'm curious to see where they'll take it. Not in like a, I'm a rabid fan for supernatural way who's, you know, just wants to see what's next, more from just like a curiosity of a creator standpoint. What are they gonna do here? And Dae Kim is a name that's gonna just pique my interest because everything I've seen of him, Lost and others, he has a heck of a presence through a very subtle performance, and that's different than what you normally associate with supernatural, which has kind of more the supernatural performances, is what I'll say there to not offend anybody. But let me know what you thought of this story and any others in the comments down below. Like and subscribe if you have not already, and hit the Patreon if you want to support what I do here. I drank my coffee this morning, can you tell? Have a good one, y'all. Peace. Oh, that was just all sugar. Oh, God. And, of course, I'd like to record a special shout-out to my latest high-tier Patreon, Jordan West. I appreciate you upping your pledge, buddy, and I hope you are having a wonderful week. Close to your week. Weekend's starting. Hope your weekend's going well.